tonight, whatever, I'm going to be reteaching you tray flips. For the simple fact that I was an idiot when I first made my tray flip trick tip, so I'm going to redo it. There's really only two tricks that you need to know how to do for the tray flip. There is like a third and fourth, the vario flip and the 360 shove, but those really aren't necessary as long as you know the first two. Kick flip and backside pop shove it. And the other two are optional, but as long as you learn how to scoop that backside shove, you can probably already get it to a tray flip. But I mean, maybe just be safe. See, I don't even know how to do it. I don't know how to do 360 shoves. I can do varial flips sometimes. But I can tray flip. So you don't need to know how to do varial flips or 360 shoves just as long as you've got the kick flip and the pop shove it, you should be fine. Alright, here's how you do it. This is always the lengthiest part of any of these trick tip videos. But what you're going to want to do is have a really good foot position. Foot position is key. Your back foot pretty much does everything. Your front foot is just there as a little edge of a door or a nail to like catch your shirt on. Pretty much. That's all it really acts as. Your front foot flicks a little bit, but it mostly just stays there for the board to rotate around it and do what it has to do. But your back foot position is essential. You either want, no matter what you want toes hanging off, you either want it about this much or this much. This much will give you a faster flick and it'll be lower to the ground because less of your foot is in the pop area. If you put it right here, you still have some of that pop, but it won't spin as fast, which can be, tailored to depending on how strong your legs are. And for beginners, front foot, it always seems to be really, really, really far down on the board, either a little bit below half or as disgusting as right down here. And the only reason that beginners do this is because the distance, the amount of time between this pop and scoop and this flick is really short, so the board will just do it really fast. And as you move your feet up the board, you'll notice that the spin comes a lot before the flick, so you're able to pull it up higher. I keep my foot here. I've been trying to keep it up here because there's more control in this, but I'm just naturally really used to this. I've been doing it this way for like 2 or 3 or 4 years. But I'm working on this, I moved from here to here, now I'm trying to get up here. We'll see if it actually works. But here's how you do it. For all intents and purposes, we're going to use my usual foot position for this. So your back foot is in this pocket, and the way this trick works, like physically how it works, is this foot pushes down and scoops, which causes the board to like rest on your back right wheel. And as this foot flicks, it throws the board this way. So it's a combination of this, pushing it down like this, and your front foot flicking it the opposite way, which gives it the momentum to spin all the way. So that's how it looks. That's what a 360 flip looks like. You've probably seen a billion 360 flips in your life, if you're a devout skateboarder or whatever. But what you want to do is any sort of speed. You can even do these stationary. I wouldn't recommend extremely fast, though the faster you go, the easier it tends to be. But as a beginner, I wouldn't really recommend that, just as the same way I wouldn't recommend doing it stationary. Doing it stationary is pretty much like, oh, look, I can do it stationary. I've done it a million times, I can do it stationary. It's like a show-off thing, it's really dumb. But what you want to do is you want to have your back foot right here, toes hanging a little bit off, maybe a lot of it off, a little bit for a higher pop and a slower rotation, a lot off for a faster rotation and a lower pop. That's pretty much for like line tray flips or just ones you really don't care about or whatever. And your front foot is going to want to be always at an angle. As you bring it up higher, you can like straighten it out a little bit more, but that's only because the amount of time between these two is so great that the board has already done this. It's gotten this far, so your front foot doesn't really matter how it is, just as long as it's pointed or angled a little bit so your toes can catch. Like 90% of the work, or 85%, is in the back foot, and 10 or 15%, yeah, 10 or 15% is in the front foot. So what you want to do is you want to get, I should have worn pants. So what you want to do is you want to get some amount of speed, definitely not too fast, maybe like one push, half a push, whatever. And you want to pop and scoop. It's pretty much like a same time thing. Everything in skateboarding is a same time thing until you get good at it. Then like kick flips, like you start out going just like pop and flick real fast. But you know, as you move your foot up higher and you get more control, you can pop it, let it rise a little bit, and then flick it, and it'll be just as nice. For the tray flip, that's the exact same thing. If it's lower, it'll just go really fast. But when you put it higher, your back foot will push down and scoop, and your front foot will catch it, which will cause the board to go this way in the opposite direction, which leads to it going around like this. The easiest way to like catch the board, because there is a lot going on here, somehow this is easier than a varial flip for me and for a lot of people. Varial flips are just really not looked upon too highly. Is it raining? No. So to catch it, I would definitely recommend the front foot. As you get better and as you want to be really lame and do the spread eagle stuff, go ahead and do it. But that's like the thing about tray flips that's so in between for me. Like spread eagle, like it looks cool sometimes, but then like when guys do it over like really big gaps and it just looks effortless, like I hate that. I hate effortless looking skateboarding because it's like you're a robot, you don't deserve this. But that's just me, you know, you have different opinions, I have different opinions, it's whatever. So what you want to do is you want to pop and scoop, and what that's going to do is throw your board like this, in this direction, and your front foot is going to flick off and up, and it's going to take the board, it's going to go around like this, look exactly like that, probably a little bit more vertical, maybe a little bit more horizontal, whichever. You're going to take your front foot, catch it, put the back foot on, right as you land, and that's pretty much how you do a tray flip. Back foot right here, a little bit of toe hanging off, front foot always angled, maybe like a 45-degree angle, never 90, maybe like 45, 35, something along those lines. But never more than 45, because then it stops being a tray flip and it more like starts being a kick flip. So you're going to want to pop with those toes hanging off, and that will send your board like this. Just that pop, or like this, regardless. Your front foot, because it's up here, the board is going to catch it as it turns. So you're going to pop and scoop it, and then flick it, depending on where your foot is. If it's down here, you'll flick faster. If it's up here, you'll flick later. But it's a pop, scoop with your back foot, really hard. As you get better, you don't need to put too much effort into it, and that just gets a whole lot nicer because your tray flips will still look good, and you won't have to put a whole lot of work into it. There's a lot going on. There's so much going on that this trick gets easier as you keep doing it. Like easier physically, you don't have to put much extra oomph into it or whatever. So you want to pop, scoop it, flick it off, and the board will do this. It'll spin 360 degrees and a kick flip. You want to take your front foot, put it wherever you can put it. If it goes up there, it goes up there. If it goes down there, it goes down there. You want to catch it and land it. And that's how you do a tray flip. There are a bunch of variations to this trick. You can do it in all different stances, regular nollie switch fakie, or goofy nollie fakie switch, whatever stance you are. You can do tray flip reverts, which are a lot of fun. And you can also do them over gaps, downstairs, off of a building. You can do tray flips pretty much wherever you want. You can do any trick wherever you want, but we're talking about tray flips here, so let's keep it tray flips. So this was my trick tip on tray flips. I had to redo it because I really sucked at tray flips and I really thought I was a big cheese back then. But I'm not. I wasn't. I'm still not. And that's how you do a tray flip. Thank you.